If you grew up in the 80s, you know him. Green skin, red helmet, that iron jaw clamped shut like a bear trap. Trap Jaw, one of Skeletor's evil warriors, muscle, menace. But the cartoon never told you how he got that jaw, where that arm came from, what turned a man into that. He didn't start out as a monster. He started out as a man, a soldier, a warlord, someone who built an empire from nothing, and then had everything taken from him in the worst way possible. And before I get into that, what happens in the middle of this story is the reason Trapjaw is, to this day, the most underrated character in the entire He-Man universe. Stick with me. Our story begins inside Snake Mountain, where Skeletor addresses his assembled evil warriors. Every villain you remember is there. Evil Lyn, Merman, Beastman, Webstor, and among them, one who is about to make the worst decision of his life. His name is Kronis, tall, blue-skinned, red helmet, battle-hardened. He's been Skeletor's top lieutenant for years, loyal, ruthless, effective, and today, he's had enough. The confrontation begins when Kronis challenges Skeletor directly. He doesn't hold back. He tells his master, to his face, that Skeletor has become irrational, flawed, that his injuries run deeper than bone, that he is no longer fit to lead. Skeletor's response? He laughs. "Kronis, your idiocy amuses me." Then he gives Kronis one last chance to back down. Kronis doesn't take it. What follows is brutal. Skeletor blasts Kronis with raw, dark magic, a wave of energy that sends his body slamming into the stone walls of Snake Mountain. Beastman and Scaly throw him to the ground, and Skeletor, standing over his fallen lieutenant, delivers his verdict. "Take him out of my sight. He is no longer welcome here." And then the cruelest part. Skeletor adds, "We'll see how long he lasts on his own, without the protection of Snake Mountain." Kronis is dragged to the edge of the fortress and hurled outside. He falls through the volcanic terrain outside Snake Mountain, tumbling across rocks and lava fields until he finally crashes to a stop. Battered, broken, alone. He looks back up at the mountain that was his home, and he says 4 words. "You haven't seen the last of me, Skeletor." Most men, thrown out by the most powerful dark sorcerer on the planet, would have died out there in those wastelands. Kronis wasn't most men. What he does over the next few days is one of the most remarkable sequences in all of MOTU lore. And this is where the story gets really good. Kronis, alone and exiled, doesn't run, doesn't hide. He builds. First, he survives a gang ambush in the wastelands, taking on a group of raiders who claim the territory is theirs. He dismantles them one by one. When the last one falls, Kronis stands over their leader and makes a simple declaration. "This is my territory now. You take orders from me." The answer comes fast. Yes, sir." That's where it starts. Over the following weeks, his strategy unfolds with cold, mechanical precision. He infiltrates an enemy general's tent in the dead of night, kidnaps the man from his own bed while guards stand right outside. At dawn, he addresses the stunned army. "Your general was a tyrant. His reign is over. I am Kronis. Follow me, and I promise victory, food, and shelter. Choose otherwise, and you die like he did." He does this again, and again, and again. Faction after faction across the Dark Hemisphere, absorbed, converted, folded under his banner. By the time his war council meets on the eve of the final campaign, the numbers are undeniable. Kronis commands the largest army on this side of the Sea of Rakash. No one left in the region to challenge him. His lieutenant asks the obvious question, "What's next?" Kronis smiles, and somewhere deep inside Snake Mountain, Skeletor already knows the answer. There is only one place left to conquer: Snake Mountain. But here's the thing about Skeletor. He's not a regular general. And what he prepares to receive Kronis is going to change everything you think you know about how Trapjaw comes to exist. The assault on Snake Mountain is massive. Skeletor's Doomseekers bring him the news. Kronis has formed an army. They are on the march, headed this way. Skeletor's reaction? Laughter. Then silence. Then dark preparation. When Kronis' forces finally arrive at the gates of Snake Mountain, the collision is apocalyptic. Thousands of warriors crash against Skeletor's defenders in a battle that shakes the volcanic terrain. The air fills with the sound of steel and magic. And in the middle of it all, Kronis fights forward, cutting through enemy after enemy, screaming one name: Skeletor! When the two finally face each other, one-on-one outside the fortress walls, the intensity of years of loyalty, betrayal, humiliation, and rage erupts. Kronis charges. "I've waited a long time for this. You're the first person I've met who so looked forward to death." Kronis breaks free. "The only death I'm looking forward to is yours." What follows is one of the most vicious fights in MOTU comic history. No weapons, no magic tricks, just two enormous warriors trying to destroy each other with their bare hands. Kronis lands massive blows. Skeletor's dark energy crackles. Both bleed, both refuse to stop. But in the end, Skeletor wins. He delivers the finishing blow, a dark energy blast that sends Kronis sprawling across the frozen ground. The army, without their general, breaks. The battle is over. Skeletor stands over the broken body of Kronis and says, "It's over, Kronis. See how your pitiful army falls as easily to my forces as you fell to me. You have failed, and it will cost you your life." He raises his weapon. Kronis does something he has never done before in his life. He grabs Skeletor's arm. Skeletor pauses, surprised. "What's this? You now beg for mercy. Are you so afraid of death, Kronis?" And then, the twist that changes everything. Skeletor doesn't kill him. "You've proven that you can be an asset to me. I never would have dreamed you could amass such a large army. You have impressed me. And for that, you will be spared." What happens next, Skeletor explains with chilling simplicity. He'll clean up the survivors. In the meantime, he tells his technicians to see what they can do with that mess. The mess is Kronis, battered, broken, barely alive. What they do to him inside Snake Mountain's laboratories, the comic doesn't show in graphic detail. It doesn't need to. When the next page opens, Evil Lyn walks through a corridor of Snake Mountain. There, in the shadows, is a figure, green-skinned now, red helmet, cracked and rebuilt, and a mechanical arm, enormous, modular, clicking and whirring, replacing the limb he had before. Evil Lyn stares at him. "I can't believe you chose this over death. I used to respect you, Kronis." The figure in the shadows doesn't flinch. "I wasn't begging for my life. I was trying to strangle him." Then he steps forward. The metal jaw glints in the darkness, and he says the last words Kronis will ever speak. "It's Trapjaw now." That is the origin Mattel never showed you, not a monster, not an accident, a man who refused to die and paid a price none of us can imagine. The next villain I'm putting on trial has an origin even darker than this one, and I guarantee you've been misreading him for 40 years. Subscribe. The verdict is coming.